Hey guys, welcome back to Entwined. Today I'm going to be making my shrimp tacos for you guys. I want to start by letting you know that this is a pretty low cost meal. For all these ingredients, the cost was around $12, so depending on how many tacos you eat per serving, it'll be 4 to 5 servings, so less than $3 or less than $2.50 a meal. That is assuming you already have olive oil or another oil that you like to cook with laying around. So pretty low cost, super delicious. All my friends love them. They always request them whenever I make food. All right, so let's get started. I like to make the slaw first. So you can buy a head of cabbage, which might be cheaper than buying the bagged version. Not sure, haven't looked into it. I use this specific kind because they cut it really thin. It's kind of like Jimmy John's. Their lettuce is very thinly sliced, and that's what I prefer in my tacos. If I could open this bag, that would be helpful. So I don't use the whole bag. I used a little more than half of it. It's about that much. Leave it here. I'm gonna make the sauce that I toss it in next. So I use a food processor. A lot of people don't have food processors unless you cook a lot. My mom got this for me. Thanks, Mom. I use it all the time. Not quite sure what's going on. Oh, there we go. All right, so in my food processor container, I use Greek yogurt. You can use mayonnaise, you can use sour cream. I like the tanginess from the Greek yogurt. I think it goes well with cabbage. So plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened, unflavored. So I'm gonna put this whole container in here. And this is gonna be the sauce that we toss the cabbage in. Don't be afraid to make a mess. I am the messiest cook ever. Who are we kidding? I'm a mess. So Greek yogurt in. I already have this avocado that I was eating earlier for breakfast. So I'm gonna do half an avocado. Adds a really nice creaminess to the sauce. Plop it in there. Next thing going in is some garlic. Get a head of garlic. I usually put 2 or 3 cloves in there. I'm gonna do 3 today. I like things garlicky, so to cut garlic, if you don't know how, this is how my mom always did it. She taught me this. There's like the little hard part on the end of each clove. Slice that part off so that toughness doesn't get in there. And now using the side of the knife, this side, lay it on top of the garlic and smash it down with your hand. So it's gonna crush it and it's gonna make it easier to take the paper filmy skin off. Oh, well, that didn't fucking work. So crush it like that and the skin should just pull right off after that. I've heard that some people say you can put garlic in a jar and shake it and it peels it. I'm not sure, I've never tried it. Let me know. So now I'm just gonna chop these up a little bit, make it a little easier on the food processor and toss them in. Next, I'm gonna grab some cilantro. I wanna leave a little bit for garnish, so I'm gonna take about 2/3 of it and just cut the heads off like that. Shove that into the food processor. Now, olive oil. I wish I had an exact measurement for you guys, but I don't. I'd say 3 tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons of that. Grab your lime. I'm just gonna cut it in half. So I hold it this way, face down in my hand, and then I squeeze it so I can catch the seeds and they don't fall into our sauce. A little more than half is perfect. Now, if you like spice, I add jalapeno to it. If you don't, you can totally omit this part. It is not necessary. It just makes it more delicious. So I cut the stem off, then I cut it in half. And then using that same spoon that's totally messy from earlier, doesn't matter, it's all getting blended anyway, I'm just gonna scrape out the seeds. So scrape out the seeds, chop this a couple times. We're gonna put the lid on. All right. You can salt and pepper to taste. That's totally up to you how salty you want it. I'd say around a teaspoon of salt, however much pepper you like. Okay, I'm gonna get this using the same spoon because I hate doing dishes. And we're just gonna pour that on top of the coleslaw. And now we're just gonna toss the coleslaw in the sauce. We want all the pieces to be coated, but you don't want to drench it to where the coleslaw is soggy. So if it looks like your coleslaw is getting a little soggy, or maybe there's too much sauce, just add a little bit more cabbage. It's totally fine. I'm not a very precise person when it comes to cooking, so I just kind of make things work. So this slaw tastes good. I'm gonna put that to the side. Now we're gonna make the sauce for the top. So this part's fairly simple. It's just gonna be half sour cream, half hot sauce. I use sriracha because it's nice and garlicky, and I put this stuff on everything. It's also a little bit sweet, so it's a nice contrast to the really limey slaw that we just made and the spice of the shrimp. So I'm gonna get a small bowl. I'm gonna put sour cream. I'm just gonna make a little bit because I'm the only one eating them, so I don't want a ton of the sauce sitting in my fridge. Equal parts sour cream and sriracha. Make sure it's thoroughly mixed. It should be this color. And set it aside. Okay, so for the shrimp part, you can season it however you want. This is my preference. I like mine a little bit spicy. I use chili powder, I use cayenne pepper, and some Creole seasoning. So I want to start the stove, get my pan heated. I'm going to put it on medium high. While that gets warming up, I'll season my shrimp. I use Tony's on everything. A little bit of cumin, a little bit of cayenne, black pepper, garlic powder, chili powder, and a little bit of smoked paprika. I only got smoked paprika because they were out of regular paprika, so we'll see how that goes. Add a little bit of olive oil. I'd say a tablespoon or two. I start with the Tony's. Let me think. I'd say a teaspoon and a half of Tony's, a half a teaspoon of cumin. And if you don't have any of these, salt and pepper works just fine, honestly. It'll taste just as great. Chili powder. I'd say a good teaspoon and a half of chili powder. Black pepper, half teaspoon. Garlic powder, maybe half teaspoon of that. Cayenne pepper, this is if you like spice. This can make things spicy pretty quickly. You can do a quarter teaspoon of that. And paprika, half teaspoon. So now that we got all of our seasonings in our shrimp, we're gonna toss it up. I'm gonna use some tongs because that's what I'm gonna use when they're in the pan. Add a little bit of olive oil to your pan. Make sure that gets nice and hot. You can tell the pan's hot enough because the oil gets a lot runnier than when you initially poured it in. So now I'm gonna take my seasoned shrimp and put them in the pan. Careful, the oil might splash a little bit. You don't want them on top of each other, otherwise they might not cook evenly. So I'm gonna let those cook. Usually about 2 minutes on each side, depending on how hot your stove gets and how big the shrimp are that you bought. Oh, Ella's calling me. You're in my vlog. Say hello.
Hello, world.
That was Ella. She's coming over to eat tacos. I'm really glad y'all are watching this. I hope someone is actually making them. That would make my life, honestly. While they're cooking, you can go ahead and get your garnishes ready. So I like to thinly slice some jalapeno, quarter or eighth some limes, and slice some avocado just to put on top. I got this awesome new slicer. It's super sharp. It said it was super sharp and not to touch the blade, and of course I touched the blade and it slice my finger. So I'm just gonna slice some jalapenos really thinly. All right. These look like they're ready to flip. You'll know they're ready whenever they're no longer transparent. So just give each shrimp a flip and let them cook on the other side. This part's a little bit tedious, but it's worth it. So once you notice that both sides are fully cooked, you can go ahead and just toss it, get all the juices incorporated. Make sure they're cooked nicely all around. Perfect. So I'm actually gonna leave this burner on so I can heat up my tortillas. So you can heat the tortillas in a pan, or I just like to do it straight on the stove. That's how my mom always did it. Just careful you don't burn your hands. You gotta pick it up kind of quickly. You can kind of like make a game out of it. Don't burn your fingers, trying to burn your fingers. Oh, it melted my freaking nail. Okay, 10 out of 10, don't recommend if you have your nails done. You don't even have to heat up the tortillas. Some people don't like it. Personally, I do. Now to prepare them, I'm going to start with the slaw we made. Put a couple shrimp in each one. I usually do 3 to 4 depending on how big they are. Now I'm going to do the avocado. Grab our sauce we made. Drizzle a little bit of that. Now for the cheese, I like to use Mexican cheese. I like to use cojita cheese generally. I don't have any of that right now, so I'm just going to use this Mexican mixed cheese. And use whatever cheese you want. Some people are weird about certain types of cheeses. Cojita cheese is the best, in my opinion. Or don't put cheese if you don't want cheese. It doesn't need cheese. Toss some of those thinly sliced jalapenos on top. And finish with a little bit of cilantro. These are them. I don't know if we can see this. It's really good, if I do say so myself. Thank you so much for watching. I had fun. I hope y'all had fun. Let me know if y'all end up trying them. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and enjoy your tacos.